Hello, welcome back to A World Without Malaria. We've talked about using long-lasting insecticidal nets in order to minimize malaria infections. But there are also other things that can be done to stop the spread of mosquito-borne illnesses. Now, we here at BuzzOff believe that allocating time, money, and effort wisely against malaria is a right response, and it goes a long way towards building well-being in our families and our communities. So in this chapter, we'll consider some other practical things that can be done to prevent malaria. Enjoy.
Hi, I am Estuardo, and it's great to be with you. The number one way to reduce mosquito-borne diseases is using long-lasting insecticidal mosquito nets, and we have discussed that in detail in Chapter 18. So now, let's focus on the environment where mosquitoes breed, and how knowing about this can help us reduce the diseases they carry. Different mosquito varieties breed in different water conditions. For example, the Aedes mosquito prefers rainwater, and the Culex mosquito prefers polluted water. The Anopheles mosquito, the malaria mosquito, usually breeds in clear standing water, although some use slow-flowing and others use brackish water. Some can even use salt water to lay their eggs. It is important to reduce the opportunities that mosquitoes have to breed by removing places where water can stand. Cleaning up your environment can easily retard the mosquito breeding cycle. If your community is able to do things like overturn coconut shells or clean up tin cans so they aren't laying around collecting water, or make sure all tires are stored in such a way that they don't trap water and allow mosquitoes to lay their eggs in them, then you can really make a difference in the mosquito population. Removing objects that lay around and contain water like these ones will definitely help to reduce the mosquito population. If your community uses wells, make sure they are covered with a mesh or solid lid so that mosquitoes aren't able to access and breed in them. Even though a mosquito can lay her eggs in a very small amount of water, such as a small puddle, we can significantly reduce the breeding locations of mosquitoes. Large bodies of water or swamps may require chemical spray in order to reduce larvae numbers, but by increasing the fish content of a lake, you can also reduce the number of mosquitoes. If you have a rice field, consider how you could grow fish in there as well. The fish will not only eat the mosquito larvae, but could provide a complementary food and income source. Stagnant pools not used for water supply should be drained, filled in or stocked with fish that will eat the mosquito larvae. When using chemicals to reduce mosquito numbers, it is important to follow local government guidelines and to only use chemicals in the prescribed quantities. Chemicals are dangerous and can have serious side effects on the environment and people if they aren't used correctly. When possible, a home should be built in such a way that mosquitoes are prevented from entering. Using wire screens on windows and doors can help with this. Mosquitoes like dark and dusty corners of rooms, so keeping your homes clean, tidy, and airy will mean the mosquito will search elsewhere to hide. There are a number of simple mosquito traps that can be made for little or no financial outlay. So place these mosquito traps around your home. Remember, every mosquito that you trap and kill is one less mosquito that can breed and one less mosquito that could possibly infect you, your family, or a member of your community. Wearing clothing that protects the skin from being bitten is another simple way to prevent mosquito-borne infections. The Aedes mosquito, which transmit chikungunya and dengue fever, bites during the day, so wearing long sleeves and using insect repellent can protect a person from being bitten and infected. When using repellents, be mindful of long-term effects to the body and always follow the instructions. In particular, a pregnant woman should use repellents sparingly, as it is possible that some repellents may affect the unborn child. A mosquito usually only travels a couple of kilometers in its lifespan, so with a solid community effort, it is possible to eradicate the infected mosquito from your area. In fact, many nations have been able to completely eradicate malaria by diligently using these simple processes. Being aware of the seasons when there are many mosquitoes in an area also helps you to protect yourself from malaria. For example, in some countries, the weather is very favorable for the spreading of mosquitoes all year round. This means you could be infected with malaria at any time, whereas other locations only have mosquito present during certain seasons, so malaria infection is less likely during the off-season. Female mosquitoes, particularly fertilized females, may survive winter by hibernating in caves, which means the malaria breeding cycle can virtually last year-round in some locations. Eggs are capable of surviving cold temperatures. However, freezing usually kills eggs. By consistently working together to minimize mosquito breeding and by preventing mosquitoes from being infected with malaria because they have bitten an infected person, it is possible to eradicate malaria from an area. It may be that the female Anopheles mosquito is still found in an area, but even though she may bite someone, they will not be infected with malaria if the mosquito herself was not infected by biting a human first. It is possible for malaria to be reintroduced into an area because of a single malaria mosquito bite, either a person infecting a mosquito or a mosquito infecting a person. This highlights the importance of ongoing mosquito control and people who are infected with malaria sleeping under mosquito nets, even when malaria is not very prevalent in an area. To put it quite simply, in order to protect yourself and your family from malaria, the only thing you need to do is not to be bitten by an infected female Anopheles mosquito. If we follow these simple tips, we can break the malaria cycle and live in a world without malaria. Bye for now. Hasta luego.